Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Try It Out Tuesday. Sorry about that. Right, so tonight we're going to be doing some art journaling. We're going to have a little look at the Catalyst papers because we sort of gave them a quick look through the new ones. And we did a page, and then we got all caught up with some more newness. So I thought we'd give them another little look tonight. So I hope you're all okay. We'll just wait for a few more people to join, and then we will get started. Alrighty. Can't find you on my phone for the comments, and I know where you are. Oh, there we go. Hello, Alison. Hello, Caroline. Hello, Dominique. You still need to get these. Well, I couldn't possibly say. Just realised I haven't got me any water, so I'm going to hope this little bit from a Mr. bottle is going to be enough. I've got some in that water bottle as well. Looks a bit murky, but you know, it'll be fine. Alrighty. Okay, so I don't know how many people to expect with it still being Easter holidays and things. Yeah, so like I say, you know, we touched on the new Catalyst papers, but we didn't really do that much with them. So I thought what I'd do is we'll do some work in my Dina Media journal today. If you haven't seen this journal before, this is my Dina Media journal. There's fantastic different surfaces in here, and what I'm trying to do now is work my way through and complete the pages, because I think like most journalers, to be honest, we don't start at the front, do we? No, we start halfway through and then sort of have a play around the different pages until we reach a certain point where we're like, no, I want to go in and finish. Okay, so, you know, there are pages past these. And I think, again, like a lot of us, in the beginning especially, we do work around the fabric ones. And there's no need to do that. They're absolutely fine. Once you've done your first few, honestly, you sort of commit to the brilliance of them. But, you know, they can be a bit nerve-wracking when you start. Okay, so this sheet here was one of the new papers. Okay, and I put it on there to show. One of the fantastic things about Catalyst papers is if you are worried about the fabric pages in your Dina journal and you're worried about how to cover them, use your Catalyst paper. Put them on, you still get the texture of the fabric underneath. Absolutely beautiful. So I thought we could do a little bit of that, alright? Now I don't have the full sets because I've been using them. And it only occurred to me this afternoon, and I left work at lunchtime. Well, I left the unit at lunchtime. Okay, so Catalyst papers set 3 and 4. These ones are quite obvious, so I'm not giving anything away. Catalyst paper set 3 is very Sam. Okay, you've got lots of asemic writing. There's a lot of purple. A lot of purple that we sort of noticed as they came back. Oh, hang on, is that blue one? That blue one's you as well, Sam, isn't it? I think that one's from set 3. Yeah. Okay, but there is 5 in each set. Okay, and then we also have set 4, which is more me. There's a lot more freehand sort of messiness, shall we say. Okay, lots of circles. Okay, so lots to play with in there. So you've got all these different patterns, and what it means is if you haven't had the opportunity, or in case you're just not able to buy all the different mediums you need to create these sort of looks, okay, we've done the work here for you, and you can have a play, but also you can add to these. Okay, you can add your own mediums to them. So the Bee Crafty media papers, okay, so this goes for this and the black and white ones and whatever, are made from like a Japanese rice paper. It's much weightier than, say, tissue or collage. okay, which means it can actually take up quite a bit more of attacking in terms of mediums and whatever. But like I said, we've got the black and white ones, and we've got the coloured ones that are that we call the catalyst papers, because it's sort of like a way of a catalyst to your creativity. Hence what we've gone for there. Probably trying to be a bit cleverer than we are, but you know. So I'm thinking what we might do is do the reverse of this page, because like I say, if I am doing them in order, then I've got to sort of continue with that. But what I might do, which is already sending my ideas for this demo out the window, had a very, you know, I had a real sort of concentrated look of what I was going to do. No, I'm not. I am gonna do it, which means I'm gonna have to jump ahead slightly. But that's all right. Like I say, as long as they're all getting done, it doesn't matter. I just need. Here we go. We'll go in here. All right. Now I'm going to use a mix of stamps tonight. I want to use my Dragonfly art. Okay. I want to use some. I'm going to really mix them up. Some of the new borders, some of the new freehand borders, because I think that's a really good mix of texture between the sort of pen and ink style and the more doodly style. I'm thinking some crackle, some script, and if they don't get me the result I want, I might go and use some of my small words #1. Okay, so they're sort of like a break glass and sort in case of emergency. But I might use them for the sentiments actually. I might use those for the sentiments. Okay. So the first thing you're going to notice is your Bee Crafty media papers are about A4. Your Dina journal is not. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut that down. I would love to tell you I'm exceedingly precise when I do this, but I'm not. Okay, so we're going to cut this down. You can... I need a little bit more than that. You can draw the edge with water and cut it down that way if you want to give it a softer edge. We're going to leave a little bit of white space for what we're going to do. Okay, now what I'm going to do to make my life easier, which I'm not generally very good at, but to make my life easier, we're actually going to work on this sheet before we stick it in. Well, some of it anyway. When it comes to stamping the main doodle art image, I just think that's going to make my life easier. So I'm just going to move my journal out the way. Okay. So we haven't done it this way before. Usually we stick it in and we go from there. So this is sort of like, we're changing it up. So I'm going to grab my Super Skinny Slim. Now, if you haven't seen the Dragonfly art before, it's got some really cool things on it. Okay, you've got this lovely lacy border, which was my proof of how intricate photopolymer stamps can be border. I love it. These are two elements, so you've got the clock here and sort of like the ledger circle, two paintbrushes, which are really handy for adding in, and the word art. So just some fun stuff put together. Okay, so this stamp does not fit on that block. I had the block it fit on earlier. There we go. Right, so this is a big stamp and I want to go in up and down this way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my sheet, because we're going to make our life easy for ourselves and not more difficult. Okay, so I'm going to take my Versafine. I'm going to ink up. Now, of course, if you wanted to add this on after, you absolutely could. And in fairness, even if you weren't confident of stamping it on cleanly after, you could use some of the Bee Crafty stamping tissue and add it on this way. But I just thought it might be fun to do things slightly differently. Okay, so this is a really big stamp, so we're going to put that down. Okay, and we're going to just run our fingers over all the intricate bits. And then we're just going to, with our hand on, we're just going to flex each direction because it just allows us to add that little bit extra pressure. Flex, don't bend. And then when we lift it up, it means we know we've got all of our beautiful detail that we want from the stamp. Okay? Because you don't want to stamp your stamp and then have a bit that you were really looking forward to seeing missing. Because that's not fun, is it? Okay. So let's take this off here. Alrighty, and we're going to put that back underneath. Now, while we're stamping on here, what we're going to do is we're going to add on some of those borders. Okay? So we're going to go to our freehand borders. Okay? We're going to have a look. Now, of course, you could add the stitch borders in here. But I can't lie, I felt like that was somewhat of an obvious choice and therefore a little bit of a cop-out. There may be a few I might have to get my coffee stain stamps. Okay, but what we're going to do is we're going to add, oh yeah, there's the block. What a wazzock. Okay, so I'm going to get my border block here. And I think we'll go for this one. I'm really firmly starting to believe this could become my favourite. I feel like this one will just sort of ease us in, you know, to how we want it to look. Oh, sorry, my comments have just stopped. So we're going to ink that up. Because I'm going to, basically I want this to become full length of the page. This image. Okay, so we're basically trying to add to the stamp to elongate it, and that's what's so cool about it, because it has what I refer to as soft edges, gentle edges. Okay, that does make it easier to add to. Okay, so I'm going to go for this one next. And put that one there. And then I'm going to put this one going into the ledger. Now, to be fair, I'm actually going to add in the Dragonfly wings again over the top. I'm going to stamp them separately. So if I do go into that section, that's absolutely fine. Okay. Alrighty. I'm actually going to go back to my Dragonfly art. So I'm going to get these two stamps here, the clock and the ledger circle, because I think they're going to really help us, again, elongate this with and tying it all in. Alright, so I'm going to take the clock and put it down here, and then we'll go for the ledger circle. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put this one right here, because there's a small ledger circle within the stamp, so it just sort of ties it all in. So I'll tell you what we should have done. Whilst we had our Dragonfly art big stamp out. So I'm going to do this now while it's in my head. Okay. We're going to ink up the Dragonfly wing section again. I'm going to stamp that on some white card for cutting out later. Hello to everybody that's joined in that I haven't seen. Oh, as a quick aside, anyone that's ordered offers over the bank holiday weekend, everything's gone today. There was some stuff stuck at the post office from last week, but it has all gone today. Apparently there was a computer issue, but it has all gone. Just, I thought I might as well do a quick FYI as we're here. Right, so I'm going to grab my heat tool and just give this a bit of a waft to help the drying process. So we'll do that. And then again, on our catalyst paper. So like I said, I think this one is from set number 3. Now like I said, if you don't have the mediums, or you just, you know, you don't feel like, they're great for if you just don't feel like getting messy, you don't feel like getting everything out, but you want to do some journaling and things like that, it means you can, without having to, you know, overcommit time-wise. So it's like, no, you can get a catalyst page done ever so quick. We've done lots of quick catalyst pages in the past. Do check out the YouTube channel, or you can catch up on the videos here on Facebook too. Okay, where am I going? This way. This way, this way, this way. This way. Was it this way? Yeah, it was this way. No, it wasn't. It was in there. See, I told you. You know what? I said I'd do them in order, so I should do this side, shouldn't I? Okay. So, I need matte medium. Okay, so you look at that in situ, in the journal, and you're like, crikey, Bev. It's like an art journal page. Nearly finished. Magnificent. Oh no, I feel exactly the same way. Okay, so I'll turn this over here. I'm going to get my brush. I'm going to get it wet, because I always do, for matte medium. Get some matte medium, and we're going to put some, do a nice little covering on the page, and then do a nice covering on here. Like I say, because it's not as thin as like tissue or collage paper, you don't have to be quite as careful with it, which is good for me because I can be a bit heavy-handed. And it also means if you don't get the placement quite right and you need to gently peel it off, you can do that with a touch more confidence. See? Problem is, I did cut it down for the other page, didn't I? Which I think is slightly bigger. I'm making this look far more complicated than it is. I've just got top to bottom. Had it right first time. Shouldn't have corrected myself. Right, let's use the brush. Should have sorted out. I'm doing what I tell you all not to do, isn't it? I'm working along the shortest side when it would be easier to work along the longest. I'm just trying to tuck that in a little bit truth be told. Right, that's it. We're going at that. I'm just using the brush to smooth that down in case you do want to do any more stamping on it. Okay. I've got a couple of wrinkles, but that's because I doubted myself. It happens. Okay. Oh, I was definitely being a bit too rough that time. That's okay. We're going to remember it was getting dry. And that is an error. But we're going to carry on regardless. Okay, I'm going to give that a blast with my heat tool. It's pretty much dry already, which is why me being so heavy-handed was not very well received. Okay. We're just going to give that a quick heat set. And then we're going to pick a colour to focus on, okay? I want to add some more white elements to this. So where I've stamped my Dragonfly, I am going to actually stamp some more of the clock and the ledger circle to add on as well. Okay, so I'm going to get some... I had my palettes earlier. Here we go. I think I might get some blue. Okay, I've got some Dilutions London Blue on my desk because I hadn't got to put my dilution sprays away. I'll put that on there. Okay, and I'm going to get a small-ish paintbrush. And we're going to add in some blue, working our way down here, and using a mini mister I'm going to get that to wick out slightly. Just to give us a sort of focus colour. Okay, and again, just like that there. Now, and as this is going to be our focus colour, I'm going to get my Dragonfly back in from earlier. Let me just tuck it under there and you'll be able to see. And we're going to do the same. We're going to colour in these wings with the London Blue. Again, you don't need to worry about being too precise with it because we are going to cut them out. That's it. I'm just going to do some slightly darker, more concentrated ink across there and across the top of there. Okay. It's the Dilutions Ink Spray London Blue. We'll do a few ink splats across here just to add. I will pipette that back into the bottle in a minute. Okay, and then we'll leave that to dry. I'm going to get my heat tool out again. So again, I think this is a good catalyst paper because if you've got leftovers from your cutout box or things like that. You can, you know, because there's a yellow and a pink and a blue in there, you could really sort of pick which colour you wanted to focus on. Or you could do something completely different and bring a green in, you know. Okay, so we'll leave that to dry a little bit more. While we're waiting, we're going to stamp up the circles of here again with the clock. Because when I'm cutting out, I want to cut it all out in a one-up. Okay, so let's heat set those. And then give those a little heat set as well. Otherwise, I honestly, last week when I was out playing with embossing powders again, I think it really highlighted to me, and you're going to laugh at the way I word this, but I think it really highlighted to me how much I had forgotten, I know, about how wet the Versafine Clay stayed. Oh, hello. Totally kicked me out. Am I still here? Yes. Sorry, it totally kicked me out. When I was using it, then I was just sort of putting the embossing powder on to seal what I was doing, you know, and it always stuck to the Versafine Clay. So, and that's when I realised, crikey, it really does. No wonder I get so many smudges. I'm underestimating how long it stays wet for. That's upside down, you Wally. I'm actually swapping those over because there we go. So that's bringing some white back into it, which I think it needs. Okay. I'm just going to carry on regardless. If Facebook wants to carry on playing silly swines, it can. I was about to say two can play that game, and then I realised that doesn't make me sound very good. Okay. So as you can see, the wings on this Dragonfly are actually pretty easy to cut out. They're quite straight lines. I'm just going to go straight across his body as well. So we'll move those to the side. Do you want to hear something funny that Sam said to me yesterday? It was so funny. She said, Bev, I really, really need a new studio chair. Best one in the world. I think me and Captain Squeeze should be first. To be fair, I don't think she was implying I don't need one. I think it was more she will be in need of one soon too. Okay, so when we put that on, we've got the blue, but I can't lie, I am tempted to go back and do it in white. Or if I just give them a little bit of dimension. Okay. And I get my trusty Posca. Will that be enough? Do you think adding those white dots has been enough? Or I quite like it. I was just seeing a thing come through to the other side. The wheels have fallen off. I'm thinking I like it with the dots on. Okay, so I'm going to bend those wings out a little bit. Okay, and then I'm going to get my matte medium again. Oof. Do the Dilutions have mica in them? No. The Dilution shimmer sprays do though. That's a different thing. The Dilution shimmer sprays come in smaller bottles, but yes, they are shimmery, and they're shimmery, not sparkly. I have to say, they really do shimmer. Okay, so we're going to add these on, which I really do think helps bring some balance to that side. Okay, but I can't lie, I do feel it needs a little bit more white. So I'm going to do something that was kind of in my plan, but it is coming a little bit late. So it might all go very, very wrong. So I've got a white embossing powder. I've got my script stamp, and I have a Versamark. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a script stamp, freehand. Okay. And we're going to add it in some sections. Around. Okay. And then I'm going to put some white powder on that I am more than confident, by the way, is going to stick to more than what I've just stamped. But I'm actually looking forward to seeing where that is. So just let me grab a sheet of paper, which I can't see, but I do have a really big envelope. Okay. Okay, I knew it was still going to stick a bit here because it was still wet. So I'm just going to... don't mind a little bit. Oh yeah, see, I was talking about the stamping. See, it's still stuck to the clock down there. So I'm actually going to leave it on there. Yes, I could have used a smaller brush. Okay. And then we're going to get our heat tool. Yes, the script stamp. This is the background script. It's in the art stamp section. Okay, so we're going to heat our white embossing powder until it turns. Now, hindsight's excellent. It might have been cool to do the Dragonfly's body heat embossed in white and then coloured the blue. But for me, that's the sort of thing I would do. For example, I'll do it again. I'd do like sort of like a card version, and I'd try it the different way. Because your art journal, if nothing else, is a great place to practice technique, bringing different products together, because you've got it as a record of how it went. Okay, and you see that just brings in that bit of white that I think it really needed. I'm sort of loving this sort of mottled effect it's creating over the catalyst paper here. Absolutely fabulous. Okay, so this is the whole point. The backgrounds, the catalyst papers are there. He's moved. Moving back. Are there to give you a leaping off point. But that doesn't mean you can't add more to them. It doesn't mean you can't build on that. Okay. So from here, I'm going to take the wordage small words and we're going to go with, let's have a look, let your dreams take flight. Well, please, will it fit on that piece of card? Yes, it will. Fantastic. I can't believe I tidied this desk earlier. I mean, to be honest, I just can't believe I tidied this desk earlier. Not that it's such a mess now. That's easy to believe. Right. Let your dreams take flight. Again, give that a little waft with the heat tool. Okay. Big scissors. Or do we bring it in? Oh, flipping heck. And keep everything on sort of this side. Keep it quite, for want of a better description, unbalanced. For want of a better description, like I say. I might trim it down a little. And keep it all on the left. I used to be such a neat crafter a long time ago. You wouldn't believe it, would you? I just think that works. And with your white elements here, whatever. Yeah, let's do it. Let's commit. So again, I'm going to take my matte medium. Matte medium, it's just one of them things, isn't it, matte medium? I can't lie. Never used to understand it. I didn't get it. I was like, what is it? What's it for? And then you get yourself some. And one of your worst crafting fears is running out. Okay. Do a little zoomy. So Sam has put links on for all the products we've used for this page. I will also put a picture of it on with links either, will probably be tomorrow now. Okay. So thank you so much for joining me. Have a look on the YouTube channel as well for the other Catalyst paper inspiration. Okay, because I think they're so cool and they're such an easy way of kickstarting your crafting. Thank you so much for joining me this evening, guys. Please have a look on the website for any Bee Crafty products you might like. If you see one of our posts, if you could put a little heart on it, or even share it, or comment on it, anything. Just interact with it in some way. It would be absolutely brilliant, because that really helps us out. Okay, my loves. Thank you so much. I hope if you are on Easter break, you're having a lovely time. If you are back at work, then to be fair, best place to be. Spring still isn't springing, is it? But you know, have a fantastic rest of your week, whatever it is you're doing. Bye.